Within this lesson, we're going to be talking about hyperlinks and how to add images. So this is going to add some additional functionality to your HTML code. So in the past lessons, we've been just talking about HTML code, and it actually hasn't done anything. So there's nothing other than the actual textual content that you're placing, and that's what's showing up within the browser. So here, using hyperlinks, this gives us the ability to add some kind of actionable items within our HTML code. And the way that that's done is that's just done with these H tags. So they're the href tags, and the href is going to be the location where you're linking out to. So I'm just going to link out to Google. And then again, just closing that one off, and then whatever content is going to between these A's is going to be actually the hyperlink itself. So here is how we set up a basic hyperlink, and when we go out to our web page, we just refresh that. We see by default the hyperlink gets underlined. When we click it, we go out to google.com. So that's all that the hyperlink does, and it adds this additional interactivity to the content that the browser is outputting. And that's going to work the same way for this. So I can actually click this local file. This is the same one that I've opened up just using the path, and it opens up in Google as well. So for a hyperlink, it's relatively straightforward. The href is just the URL path. Now you do have additional attributes that you can add in here, and as you can see here, Google, our Dreamweaver, is giving me a bunch of attributes, and one of the ones that's commonly used is setting the target. So by default, if you don't set a target, it's just going to go to self. So we see that we do have that option here to set it to self, but by default it goes to self. And what self means is that it goes to the document which is within the same frame as the one that was clicked. So that's why when we had that Google opening up, we actually moved to that and moving off of our page. And another common one is blank. And what blank does is this opens up the document in a new window or tab. And then there are a few other ones as well. So there's parent and top. And those are used when parent is when you're trying to break out a frame and go to the parent window, and top is when you want to do a full body window. So those aren't as commonly used, but you should be aware of them as well. So now when we go back out here, we refresh it, we click our hyperlink, we see that Google actually opens up in a separate page. And that's exactly what we wanted for this, because we want to keep users within our website, and we don't readily want them going off and clicking hyperlinks and leaving our website. So that's why blank is and target attribute is very important, and very important to understand that if you do need it to go off, you should be including that as well. Now another type of tag is the image tag, and this is used if you want to add in an image within your HTML code. So commonly, so just type in a source. So all it is image source, and it's just another one of those self-closing tags where we don't have an opening image and a closing image. We just have all that information contained within the image itself. And images are also inline tags, so which means that they're not going to create a separate line of code. So if you place that image within your text here, this is going to keep in line with this text, as opposed to paragraphs and additional tags that we're going to be looking at later that actually are going to break that and drop us into a new line. So images are inline, they stay in line with the rest of the content within that element. So with image, I've just pasted in a source for the image, and this is just a website that allows you to pick up it's Lorem Pixel. If you're not familiar with Lorem text, so this is just basically space holding text And Lorem pixel is the same thing. It's a spaceholder image, and here I can set the size of the image that I want returned, so height and width. So we're going to keep it at a width of 400, a height of 200, and we're going to select in the category sports. And now when we go out to our page, we're going to see that we should have an image here within line of the text. So there's our image showing up, and actually I can make that a little bit smaller. And as we had mentioned before, that this image is again in line with the additional text that surrounds it. And that's important to remember, that images don't break. If you want to break out an image, you can do it within styling, or you can do it within your HTML code by adding additional tags that do that break and that block coding style. And the really neat thing about images is, let's say you want to have a clickable image, all you would have to do is move that over between the href tags, and now when I refresh it, this image now is a hyperlink and it's linking out to Google. Again, these are going to be very common. Hyperlinks are all over the place within web development, as well as images are really commonplace. So these two combined are going to be some of the most used tags within your HTML.